Hello and welcome to my channel. This is Imi from iTradeAIMS.net, AIMS stress-free trading. This is a three-part video series in which I'm going to teach you how to count Elliott waves within 10 seconds. I get asked this question quite a lot, how to count Elliott waves quickly and how to count it within 10 seconds. Yesterday in our chat room, one of our friends who has been trading for quite a while asked a question that they can't really count Elliott wave within 10 seconds. So I went ahead and I made 3 videos. First one focuses on how to identify wave 3. Then building on that in part 2, you're going to learn how to identify wave 4. Once you have identified a wave 3 and a 4, you will be able to identify where is wave 5 and how to trade it. And in part 3, I will also share with you how I trade wave 5s, where I put my stop loss, where I put my entry, and how I can actually predict the market in advance, where I will exit the market with profit, which is normally a 2R. So if it's a 1% risk, you take 2% profit. So let's begin. Meanwhile, download this book on how to count Elliott waves within 10 seconds. Please subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you get notification every time there's a new video. So how to count Elliott waves within 10 seconds. This is the third part. In the first part of the tutorial, we identified this as wave 3, and we learned how to do that. The simple way is you look to the left of your anchor point where you want, and within the 100 to 140 candles, 140 max, minimum 100, the tallest peak on AO is your wave 3. This was your wave 3. Then we learned how to identify a wave 4, which is when you see a 3 like this one, price goes up, gator sleeps. But most importantly, AO crosses the zero line. This one green bar here was the minimum requirement. Now let's look at how to count wave 5, how to identify it. And at the same time, I will also teach you how to see the internal structure of a wave 3, whether it has 1, 2, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves completed. So what we see here is a wave 3. Based on the part 1 of the tutorial, we understand. But to see a full completed count, you must have data presented in the form of minimum of 100 candles and maximum of 140. This is the part that people usually get confused with. So I'm trying to clarify that. Let's see. What we have here is the wave in question. Now this is the tallest bit of this move down, so I'll consider that as the start of the wave 1 and 2, which led to the wave 3 down, and this would be your wave. And meanwhile, when we go through this, you will also learn what confirms wave 5 and what is the minimum requirement of considering a wave 5 using the 10-second to Elliott wave method, which is the AIMS wave. So I will mark this and find out how many bars are there. As you can see, we have 72 bars. But to identify a fully completed wave between 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5, you need 100 to 140 candle. If it's more than 140, your count is going to be wrong, too much information. If it's less than 100, it's too little information. We do know it's a 3. Now, to identify the wave 4, we'll have to wait for it and to see if this AO goes back up in future, which that data I don't have. I can wait for it. I will definitely wait for it because I know it's a 3. Now my job is to wait if we see a good wave 4. But that's a different discussion. I'm not talking about how to trade it. I'm talking about how to count the Elliott waves. So we're going to break this down. So what we need is to double this. So if I were to go to an M30 chart, I will have double the candles. So let's go and create an M30 chart. What you see here is the most beautiful wave format now. So now if I were to do the count, and if I were to look to the left, let's have 140 bars to the left. My tallest peak is this. Can you see this? This is the lowest price here. but the AO is showing the tallest peak. So that's my 3. Then the price goes and crosses the 0 line. Gator sleeps, box is tight. You have this first minimum requirement and price goes sideways. That becomes my wave 4. When this was confirmed, then I knew that around this point, this was the peak of 3 and the start of 4. This has now become the peak of 4 and the start of 5, because where 4 ends, 5 will begin. I will not know, I will not have a confirmation of the next 5 happening unless price goes below the low of wave 3. That's the rule. So when this market went here, when this candle closed, this officially was then wave 5. And the confirmation final of wave 5 is divergence. 2 things you actually look for. 1, when you have wave 5, so if this is your 3 and this is 4, this next wave is obviously wave 5. AO will diverge. As you can see, price has created a new low, but the AO has not created a new low. That made it a wave 5. And the next thing you want to check quickly, this is the 10-second Elliott wave done. But for trading purposes, we can identify wave 5 and we can actually target wave 5. And that is what leads to our method. So if this is the start of 3, that's the peak of 3, that's the peak of 4. So when the 4 was ending and 5 was potentially starting, you had already a target point in your view that if the next wave is wave 5, it is going to go and hit target zone 1, which is the 61.8% of fib expansion. Now, using this concept, if you understood this, every time you look at the chart and you have 100 to 140 candles, you won't have to print like so to see if this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You will just look at it. So around this point, let's actually do that. Where is my bar replay? Press the bar replay and I'll bring it here. So around this time, this was my 3 and this was my 4. But as price went further down, this peak became the new peak. And that's where we say where what we thought was a wave 3 actually was a wave 1. What we thought was a wave 4 actually was a wave 2. And what we thought was a wave 5, because it created a new peak, became a wave 3. Then that lets you make another hypothesis to say, okay, so if this is 1 and this is 2 and this is 3, then the next one is going to be 4, and you wait for it. So you would have waited like I did. I'm waiting. Now it crossed the 0 line here. This becomes my wave 4. And now I'm saying that if this is 1 and this is 2 and this is 3, then the next one is 5. So I will trade here, have my stop loss there. Why stop loss there? Because that is where I will be proven wrong, that this was not a wave 4. This was probably something else. And that is the most important thing to keep in mind. It is not always going to be like this. Sometimes you will see it's a 3 and you're waiting for a 4 and a 5. That 4 just keeps going up. So you scratch the idea and you start again. In this case, it happened beautifully. It went down. We have the most current charts and you can see it's hit the target zone. So if you exit here, your hypothesis is that I took a very small risk, and let me put that risk reward on this. You can see that your risk was only this much. So your risk was, let's say, 12 pips. And your target is just before target zone 1, that's 50. Your risk reward is around 4. So if you risk 100, you made 400 on this without doing anything. You took a trade, you walked away. That is how you count Elliott wave within 10 seconds. Any questions, please comment in the comment section below, and please hit the like button and share the idea. This is part 3 and the end. So this is the end of part 3 of this 3-part video series. I hope you learn how to count Elliott waves within 10 seconds. Thank you, Doug, for asking the question. Now, Doug is an experienced trader, but still was struggling with it. And from his comments, I've learned that even after reading about it for quite a while and trying to do it, he wasn't able to do it. But this 3-part video series actually helped him. So I hope it helps you as well. And if there is anything missing, please do comment below in the comment section so I can address your questions. This really is a very powerful technique. It's very simple. You don't have to go into very complicated count. All we need is to identify a wave 3. Based on that, we identify a wave 4, and then we apply the setup 1 technique to trade it. If you would like to learn more in detail how we trade this and how we have developed other strategies like the AIMS, the hunt strategy and the fruit strategy based on this, then please do consider joining us. Go to iTradeAIMS.net. More details are there.
Thank you for watching. I hope you liked this video, and if yes, please hit the like button. Do you have any questions or ideas for upcoming videos? Then leave a comment. Also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so that you never miss any future videos. See you next time.